Usually doesn't take this long. Let me try it again. No. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. It's live now. There we go.
Who's introducing this?
It's you this time, Russell.
I thought it was Ray's turn.
No.
Hello and welcome to Predator and Prey. I am one of your co-hosts, Russell, and I just woke up, and and I have with me my HOTU brethren, my hunting partners, the wonderful Ray. Hello, Ray.
Hello, howdy doody.
And Justin the Owl. Hello, Justin.
Hello there. Hello.
And we are ready for another episode of Yautja Fun.
Hey, Russell, I think it was a brilliant stroke to let the guy who just woke up open up the show. And listeners, I'm just saying that like we kind of forced it upon Russell, so it's not Russell's fault at all. I'm just saying that it's it makes for a great intro.
Yeah. So what have we been up to since the last time we recorded? I mean, it's been a month now. We don't really, I don't know. Have you guys gotten any feedback about the show?
Yeah. I'll kick off with a fantastic comic book collector, also works at a comic book store, Sparky Malarkey. We know Sparky from another show, but Sparky's a huge Predator fan, and have been having some great conversations with Sparky. She really knows her stuff. Very excited about the show. Excited to cover the comic books, the movies, and she reads a fair bit of the novels as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can move right along. So,
Yeah, there hasn't been any Predator news since our last episode. No new announcements of any new things coming out.
All quiet for me on the Predator front.
Absolutely. I've been getting my Predator fix from AVP Galaxy podcast. They did a fantastic interview with Dan Trachtenberg from the director from Prey.
Nice.
And he's such a cool guy to listen to. Trachtenberg, apparently he did podcasts before as well, so he's very well versed in front of the mic. But he and Adam and Aaron had a great chat about Prey. Just some things behind the scenes, how it kind of came about, his favorite predators, all that sort of stuff. So I want to let the listeners know to be sure to check that out if they can. Those guys are, those guys are the gods when it comes to Yautja and Xenomorph. Check out their show. They've been around for years, and they interview like heaps of big names. They interviewed Dane DeLegro, the guy that played the Predator as well in Prey. Yeah. So no, they're great, and their interviews are always fun. So check them out.
Awesome. Well, I guess, gentlemen, it's time to talk about some old scars.
Yes.
Today we are talking about one of my, basically my introduction to these creatures, Predator 2.
Yes.
All right.
It's been we have touched upon this many times before in previous episodes, but yeah, now we're just going to get a real. I guess we're going to do a bit of a deep dive. We have discussed before how we've all come about or first seen Predator 2, but there's so much in this. It's actually quite divisive. We have some feedback, which we might be able to jump to while we discuss Old Scars, Predator 2, because there's some feedback on the film. But yeah, it's I don't know, impression wise. I mean, we've done it before, but anyway, I'm going to jump to Justin. Where would you rate Predator 2 on the scale of Predator films?
I rate it really high. It's really up at the top for me. I mean, sometimes I watch it and I like it almost more than the first film because of certain things about it. I just love the fact that they set this in Los Angeles in the middle of this gang warfare stuff, because back then that was really all that you heard about when it came to Los Angeles was this, just all of these riots, these gang warfare. The drug trade in LA was crazy. Like everything that you saw on media about LA in TV or films made it look like an absolute hellhole. And it made you wonder why anyone would want to live there. But I think that they said it, I think 7 years in the future in this film in 1997. And I remember thinking, wow, things that escalated quickly. We've got these guys blowing up cops in the street with machine guns and Uzis and rocket launchers. Like it
El
seemed like
Scorpio is
ready.
ready.
it seemed like an absolute hellhole. And then you have somebody like Hannigan, who's like this grizzled warrior coming into it, who had one of the best intros, I think, of any cop
Oh,
in any
how cool.
movie in the early 90s, when he busts the door off of that car and puts all the body armor up so that so that the gang members won't shoot him, and then he creates that barricade so they can get the wounded cops out. It's a great introduction to the movie. It's a great way to set it up.
I think you've hit a point there, Justin. The action, I think, is a real highlight. I mean, if you look at Predator and it with a kind of a horror kind of aspect, the silent killer, and more of a sci-fi element, like in the second or the last third or the final act of the film, with Predator
Mhm.
2, you get these really, I think, really fun choreographed action scenes. And as you say, Harrigan's introduction, like I always remember how he reverses to get rid of his side door, like his door, and then he just hangs out the side and starts shooting. And it's just this whole kind of 90s, 80s desensitized killing kind of motif. And then he kind of double backs around to the guys, the Scorpios or whatever they're called. And he just shoots them with a
Moses with a
shotgun.
shotgun.
Yeah. Like, hey,
Ima-
assholes.
Can you imagine being the owner of that car? Oh, no!
Exactly.
I gotta go to
Yeah.
work in the morning.
But I think it really establishes Harrigan's temperament and his personality. Very different from Dutch, who and his squad are very kind of calculated and they're in control of everything. Harrigan's pretty much he pretty much shoots from the hip, and he
Absolutely.
disregards authority. You see that with the FBI. Get back to your cage in El Dorado. That sort of stuff. But yeah, fantastic action, fantastic opening. Yeah, a great character, Harrigan. Russell, I mean, what's your take on Lieutenant Mike Harrigan as a
Oh,
protagonist?
I mean, I love him. Like, I know that the major comment is that he's basically just Danny Glover's character from Lethal Weapon. Like again, like
No.
like Like, like he even has the same line. I guess that's just a nice
Yeah.
nod to Lethal Weapon. But
Yeah.
man, he's awesome. I think in a lot of ways I like him more than Dutch, just because one, he seems more unhinged, and two, he takes way less shit. And like you'd have to be unhinged to deal with what they dealt with. Like the 1997 LA is like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Hell on earth. Absolutely.
It's
Like
kind of like if. Sorry.
Bill Paxton, he gets transferred there, and
yeah.
Fantastic.
and he's basically like, "I'll be with you in a minute." And
Yes.
he finally sits down with him. He's like, "I'm just gonna give it to you straight. This place fucking sucks."
Yeah. Don't you just love that scene where it's like, I'll be with you in a minute. I'll be with you in a minute. And then when he finally gets Jerry in there in the office, he just whispers. And he's got the lighting on his face.
I've only
and
got
he's dead.
one speech. I only give it once.
Exactly. He's funny. But yeah, Harrigan, it's kind of like if Dutch and Mac from Predator 1 had a baby. I mean, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
A bit unhinged, a bit, a bit of the full-on hero. But yeah, Harrigan, I think, because there was a lot of criticism that Danny Glover was the lead, because he is coming in after Arnold Schwarzenegger, arguably the action star of the 80s. Arguably, I say. For me, he is dead set. But then you get Mike Harrigan, who his age, I think, was a factor people were kind of worried about. But you mentioned Russell in one of our earlier episodes. I think it was you. Like he's pretty ripped, like he's pretty cut in this as well. There's that scene where because it's so hot, he takes off his shirt and gets changed. But for a guy who's, I don't know, he's pushing maybe 50, I think, around this time, potentially, maybe more. I don't know.
Yeah, that might have been, yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty fit, and he does, like, Harrigan does a lot of I'm not going to say like a lot of parkour or anything like that, but he ends up on the edge of a building. He has to scale down the downpipe. Yeah.
The best part
of the end.
The best part is like he does all that and he's afraid of heights. And I'm getting too old for this shit. Like I think what really puts him over the top is just like he's got so many, everything out of his mouth is quotable almost.
Oh yeah.
And oh man, I'm pulling up some quotes here just so I can look at the
oh yeah, there's some great lines in this movie.
Yeah, oh my god. Like, I mean, at the end he's like, "Don't worry, asshole, you'll get another chance."
Yeah.
But I think the best thing he says is, because he says it multiple times, is just the inflection when he says "fuck you."
Yeah.
to Keys, to Peter Keys. Yeah. No, he's good. I love his saying shortly after they see the massacre by the Jamaicans, not by the. Oh no! When the Jamaicans are slaughtered up in that penthouse, he goes, "We got a new player in town."
Yeah,
so cool.
Danny boy.
Exactly. So, I mean, we should say as well. Sorry, we kind of skipped a little. Predator 2, 1990. It was released, directed by Stephen Hopkins. No stranger to action films, I think. Written by Jim and John Thomas, the creators of Predator, and starring the likes of Danny Glover, Ruben Blades, Maria Conchita Alonso, Bill Paxton, Gary Busey, and of course Kevin Peter Hall. Music by Alan Silvestri, and it had an estimated budget of $35 million. And at the US, it grossed $30.6 million and a further $57 million overseas. So it did pretty well, I think.
Well, and if it was just the US, it wouldn't have done too well. It would be five.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's what I was kind of asking. I guess I was kind of inflecting that last bit. Is that seen as a success? But since it flopped at the US, maybe not, right?
Well, I mean, like I'm sure that they account for worldwide sales. I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, we're in the big. I mean, Ray, you're not from the U.S., so why do you care about U.S.? But yeah, I guess it made back its budget plus some. So I guess technically it was a success. But yeah,
Well,
I
it
think
didn't
they were
spawn.
wanting more. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it was going to be. This was in 1990. It was going to be another 15 years until we get
Yep.
something else.
Yeah.
So I think it did kind of kibosh the franchise for a while, which is a shame because it actually Predator 2 introduced a lot of expanded the universe more so like in one
Oh
film.
yeah.
It was huge.
Um,
Just
you've
at
got
the
AV.
end, those few
Yeah.
glimpses at the end were enormous for
Yeah.
the lore of the character. Yeah.
Well, you know, Ed Brisson brought up the fact that like this movie was made because the comic did well,
It's crazy.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and it kind of borrows some elements from that original Predator miniseries. You know, the fact that it's a concrete jungle and it's you know, so
the scene with him
and there's a
shrieking
cop.
on top of the building with the lightning coming down, like that's directly from the comic book.
Yep. And they piggybacked off that as well. Dark Horse released, I think it was a two-parter, Predator 2 movie. I think it was a movie adaptation or an extension to the movie. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be in the omnibus, so you know.
Yes,
we're going to cover that soon.
We'll cover that for sure. Going through, I guess, the differences between, like we discussed Predator in the last episode, the original, the OG as well. We get not a carbon copy of the Jungle Hunter. We get a very different Predator here. We get, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the, I guess, speculation about what the Predator, it's never really defined, right? But I think amongst the fans, it's speculated as being a younger Predator. And that may have become lore afterwards. Maybe Dark Horse said, yeah, fair enough. That's probably right. But also not as honor bound, I'd say, as the Jungle Hunter. Potentially not as skillful. What did you make of, like, Justin? What did you make of the City Hunter?
I felt like he was younger compared to the original from the first movie. I felt like he had a much more expanded arsenal, which usually now we take to mean that it's a more seasoned, experienced hunter, the more weapons that they have. But I always got the impression that it was a younger hunter in Predator 2 that was kind of looking for a greater challenge. Yeah. In this weird landscape, this concrete jungle with this gang war happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Russell, any thoughts on the City Hunter?
Well, I love him. I feel like in some ways, and this is something we'll get into in a second, but I feel like he has more personality than the Jungle Hunter. Like because we see more of him, so we're probably like we're seeing how he acts. He's not as methodical. He kind of is guns blazing Predator, which also probably adds to the fact that he might be a youngin. You know, he might be. But again, Justin brings up the fact that now, like, we know that the Predators have to like work their way up to all these weapons. Well, you know, sometimes they say that like they give the younger ones more weapons so they can compensate for not having. Like I've heard it both ways.
That's true too. That's true too. Yeah.
Like, I mean, Russell, you cited AVP with the massive gauntlets there.
And they had to find the plasma casters. Like that was the ritual. But I think the City Hunter is great. I love his kind of brown mask. It's really unique, but I'm not too fond of his under face because I don't know. It's something about the eyes.
The eyes are different.
He kind of looks cute. Like,
Yeah.
well, like Harrigan's about to call him one ugly motherfucker. I'm like, that guy's adorable. Look at him, you know.
He's cuddly.
Yeah. I mean, we'll touch upon it with AVP. We did have a conversation about the eyes of, say, Scar in that. Very different as well. Even trying to make them more heroic. Very different look as well. I mean, they did play around with it, not to the effect of, say, Prey, where Trachtenberg revamped the whole skull, helmet, and the whole facial features. But this Predator, I mean, it still had enough of the similarities of the first one, but to me, it had a more articulated face. It seemed to have more bristles and more like mandibles or little tusks coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a weird bit. I love it as well. I mean, I can't remember, Russell, if you're the one that was saying that it's really just a full blown psycho. Because well, I mean, because there's that moment where it's hanging off the ledge and it just says, "Oh, stuff it! I'm going to blow up the whole city." You know, as opposed to the jungle hunter who uses it really as a last resort. Like he's going to really die. But then you have on the flip side of the city hunter, you have the introduction, at least in the films, of the predators respecting like a woman if they're pregnant with child. And so that was kind of again another thing that Predator 2 introduced into the cinematic universe. So is a weird mix, I think, the City Hunter. I like to think that the Jungle Hunter is the more skillful. I mean, and it's got less weapons, has less armor, that sort of stuff. The City Hunter is more of a getting into the mind of its prey. I think from the outset, it really zeroed in on Harrigan, because if you look at how it kills King Willie, you know, there was no reason for it to kill him. You know, he was unarmed, kind of. Like, he had the sword, but the Predator instigated that fight. And he did stuff like hanging that stuff in the funeral of Danny's necklace. This is stuff like, you know, this is full on mind games. That
like, like, and you can almost feel like they're trying to make him a little bit, like you mentioned, more psychotic, but also the Jungle Hunter, like almost all of its victims got his man before they even knew it was coming, really.
Yeah, it was a silent, quick kill.
Whereas
but then you have the scene with the subway, which was just an all-out massacre.
Oh my god!
Yeah, my gosh.
Yeah, but I was also thinking the scene of King Willie, like, maybe it was intentional, because again, I think the City Hunter is almost like Moon Knight. Ray is like, I think he wants them to see him coming. But like, because we get that rock tumbling down off the building, and King Willie's like, "What was that?" And then he jumps down, and that's probably my favorite scene in the movie. But
mine too, especially with the music, the score. It's so good.
Yeah. And that shot of his, I mean, that shot of it is done so well, of his face screaming, and then it pans out, and it's not his face, it's his decapitated head.
It's so good.
And you know, if we're going to be sharing here as well, I tell you, like, that actually got me into dominoes. I don't know, when King Willie throws those bones on the drum. And I was young, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I heard about, you know, how playing bones, you know, is a terminology for playing dominoes, and it's like, okay, so I ended up.
I love that.
Me and my mates played dominoes for a while, you know, with a bottle of vodka.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, King Willie, you know, telling the future, all that kind of mysticism was really cool. In that, and you touched upon, Justin, the action scenes. Oh, let's talk about, man. We talked about the action before, but I mean, these action scenes were great, I thought. I mean, the opening gambit as well, but you're saying King Willie was one of your faves. My favorite was the train scene. It was the last stand for Jerry, the Lone Ranger.
Oh man.
How can you not love Bill Paxton? I mean,
Oh, he was so good in that.
he's so
Yep.
charismatic. But yeah, as you said, the Predator jumps the train, and what would have been such a hard thing to kind of film, I think. But having such a close quarters and all those people trying to rush through the escape, doors, and the Predator just going at it, just killing everyone willy nilly.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of? I think the action leveled up actually in Predator 2.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes actually,
Oh
was the
yeah.
subway.
Mm.
And I thought that it was shot brilliantly. Like you have all of these flashing lights, it's completely dark in there, but you have these really quick shots of the kind of strobing effect of people's faces. You can't really see what's going on. Then you get the quick cuts of the Predator's POV as he's mowing down people. And not just the gang members, but also just these regular people that were traveling the subway who also happened to be packing guns.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
LA in 97, and apparently even everybody had guns, including somebody's grandma.
Yep.
So the Predator's mowing down everybody, and it's these really quick cuts back and forth in the action, and it's so effective. It really, really is great. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that scene is great because you kind of know it's coming because that guy's getting mugged and everyone pulls out their gun and you're like, fuck.
Shit.
Like,
Here we go. Yeah.
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 And that's that shot, like Jerry's last stand, where he's at the end and the Predator's walking towards him. He's cloaked. You just see like light bulbs are bursting, and that's like your only light. And the want some candy?
Oh man.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
good.
What I love about that though is that he kind of kills Jerry twice.
Oh yeah.
We get a second more graphic killing of Jerry. But yeah, that was one of the few, I guess, films where I was really hoping, like, it seemed hopeless. Like Jerry, it was down to like the golf ball and he throws that. And I remember watching it in the cinema going, there's got to be something that he comes across, like a fire hydrant, like a extinguisher or something. So he does. So he's got to get out of here somehow. So testament to how likable the character is. And, they killed, you can argue, Predator, the OG one, obviously they had great characters there. They killed them all as well. But I don't know. I thought Jerry was going to hang around when I first saw it. We end up seeing Leona, she ends up still surviving, but the rest of the team obviously don't. Danny and Jerry, but yeah, that was really cool. I mean, and we I think for the first time, I think we see the head and the spine actually ripped out in graphic.
Yes.
In full graphic nature.
Didn't we see him rip it out of Billy?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, true. But because I just remember watching it in the cinema, going, "Wow!" Like we see. But you're right. I mean, you do see in Predator the spine come out and jiggle up.
But
yeah.
I have a we also in that scene with Jerry, he definitely shoots the Predator. Like,
yes. Yeah.
And he just keeps coming. Like, was that trying to imply that like the cloaking device has some sort of shielding, or
well, it looked like he was more heavily armored too.
Yeah. I assumed that he hit one of the plates. Like, that
probably
was shielded as well. Yeah, I mean, but again, suspend your disbelief because there's a lot of exposed skin from the Predator.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
He would have had to have, like, the Predators don't wear much armor, so he would have had to have hit him, like, right here.
Yeah.
To really, or I guess, or the helmets are bulletproof too.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You know what? Yeah. I just realized that we did have some Predator news.
Hang on. Do we have some Predator news? Let me just. Okay.
The streets are running red with blood.
It's like Dante's hell around here.
Where's the mayor? He's on vacation.
The voodoo king, King Willie, with his head cut off and his spinal column ripped out. No, but
A fitting end to the Prince of Power.
but NECA announced that we are getting the feral predator.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
course.
Yes, I forgot about that, Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if it's up for pre-order now. Is it, Russell? Or
I don't think so. Not yet.
no, not
Oh.
yet. But it's just a little sneak, a little tease.
Yeah. And
My gosh.
I'm hoping that Naru and Tabe get made as well.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Me too. I would love that.
I think Dan Trachtenberg spoke of that. Like he doesn't know, but
Right.
he was saying that I mean it would make sense to do it as well. Similar to they were asking him about a Blu-ray release of Prey, and he knows someone in the biz. He knows the guy, I don't know, who's in charge of media in 20th century or whatever. He's saying that he's a big fan of collecting stuff like that. So there's a big chance we'll get a Blu-ray release of Prey too.
yeah, and
That's
you know,
right.
like most things that come to streaming, they don't get Blu-rays. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like I doubt we're ever going to get a Moon Knight Blu-ray or
I know.
anything
Disney
like
Plus don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway,
Anyway.
Harrigan.
Yeah, that's great news. Look, there are a whole heap of other action scenes, and we haven't even touched upon the oh my gosh, the monumental statue or monumental figure that is Gary Busey.
Gary Busey.
Too
Yeah.
late to go home now. Too late to go home now.
I'm gonna save your ass.
It's between me and him.
I have to say too that scene where he dies like the second time. That's one scene that I have to say has aged very poorly in this film.
Oh my
where
god.
that blade's going through the hunks of meat and then it hits
Oh
him.
man.
I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, "What just happened?"
It's aged like warm milk.
Yes, exactly. I've got to say that's probably the one most disappointing thing about this film for me. Just that the hovering torso, it's still there.
Yeah,
still up there.
I can't.
And you know he survived one death. What's to make us believe he's not still alive right there?
Exactly.
Crawling
It's
to
Gary
Harrigan.
Busey. He could have survived that.
Somebody get me down from here.
I don't need my lower half.
Yeah.
Like,
But you would have thought that continuity or whoever like would have picked that up and gone, "Hey guys, like we've dropped the legs. What's going on?"
Yeah.
Like,
the torso.
physics would say that the body follows.
You know
Yeah.
what happened is he got hit with the blade and his torso did fall, but it got hung on one of the meat hooks.
You see that in the
I like that, Russell.
extra features, for sure.
But oh man, Gary Busey is a tour de force in
He
this.
is.
Like
Absolutely.
He's not phoning it in for sure. He's
No.
living it. He's method
Oh, yeah.
acting Peter Keys. He is.
Absolutely. Yep. There's
He's
not a moment of this that he's dialing it in. He is right on point the whole time. And one of my favorite scenes is when Harrigan goes after him in the precinct. He sees him on the staircase.
Oh yeah.
Looks at him, slams him up against the wall, and he's like, "Listen, asshole, I don't give a fuck what you want about with this guy, but he killed Danny, and now it's personal." And he gets right in his face, and he does that little slap thing as he walks away. Yeah, and I love that so.
You don't know who you're messing with.
I like it. I also like it that like apparently like Harrigan can't understand the concept of extraterrestrials, and he's like, "This is an extraterrestrial life form," and Harrigan's like, and he's like, "A fucking alien."
I know he's got screens and screens and screens of extraterrestrial activity. Harrigan's like, "What?
What?
What the?
He's got a taste for beef. The lions, the tigers, the bears. Oh my!
Yeah, he was larger than life. And again, he's part and parcel of what makes this good. Look, part of the criticism I think of the film is that I've heard people say, again, one of the guests co-hosts from AVP Galaxy saying it's a little bit too cartoonish. Everyone's kind of really characterized, characterized. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? I love it. I mean, I think it's great.
I do too.
But I mean, you got Jerry, you got Peter Keys, you've got Danny, and Mike Harrigan, King Willie. I mean, there's plenty of them.
Well, I think it really helps the fact that, and I mean, no disrespect, but Danny Boy and Leona don't exactly put in the Academy Award-winning performances in this.
Yeah.
So the fact that we've
is going on?
oh no,
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny though. Those two are actually they're musicians first and foremost, both
yeah,
of them.
yeah.
So you can kind of tell
yeah.
they're not actors. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What does she say to that woman on the subway? She's like, "What you doing, pretty baby? Sit your little ass down." Or something. but
Look, they're great. I like them. They're great because their background are they meant LA because there's a heavy Mexican population there, so I'm assuming that's kind of that kind of because it was an interesting cast, like to have both of them.
Yeah,
I thought for the most part, Ruben Blades did okay. You're right though. You called it. When
they call him King Willie.
No, but when he goes, no, you can tell him just recording into the mic, post production somewhere.
Totally. And then the very beginning, it has not been a nice day.
Oh yeah.
but Gary Busey, like the butting of the heads of Harrigan and Keys is the highlight of the movie. It's like taking Dutch and Carl Weathers, Dylan's little tiff, and just like, well, we should just turn this the fuck up.
Yeah, let's turn this up to 11. Yeah.
There's a nice little moment, I think, when Keys is alerted by Garver to the fact that Harrigan's there, like in the abattoir, and he just goes, shit. But then he kind of has his little second thought and goes, oh. And then he decides to invite like Harrigan. He decides to tell him, reveal that you can see how proud he was, in his suit, and he's so proud of all his weaponry and stuff. Going, well, we have to freeze him. Like, we have to study him.
We have to
and
study
Harrigan, yeah. So
you want to freeze his ass? No, but I even like that scene. When they go in and they're in like their space blanket suits, and and Harrigan's trying to warn him. He's like, he sees the damn light, and he's like, who is this? Get off this line.
Radio out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we get some incidental characters as well, like Adam Baldwin. I think it's Adam. Biscuit. I was going to say, I thought, sorry, Justin, I thought he was slightly miscast. He just seems a little bit too lovable to be a tough guy. Like, you need someone like, is it Vinnie Jones, or someone with a real mean face.
Well, speaking of great line delivery, you don't want to fuck with us.
Yeah. To me, that sounded like a guy that has never sworn in his life.
Right.
Trying to swear.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so cute.
But yeah, I mean, we haven't. We kind of touch upon again the action components of it. I wanted to also kind of zero in on, we mentioned about keys being cut in half, the smart disc. We've got an array of new weapons here, most notably in the Jamaican massacre. Up in the penthouse, we get the combi stick. I think for the first time,
First
we get
time.
the net gun, which is we get the full extent in Prey. Like Russell, you'd love that.
Oh god,
that's the
to
best.
nothingness into
you know
nothingness.
that weapon used to be one of my least favorites. It's like, oh, it's a net that kind of hurts you, but then it was like,
That isn't just a net.
Yeah. I mean, that was furthered because recently I watched again AVP, and there's that bit where the guy's stuck in, and they're trying to cut it. Like I think Lance Henriksen's trying to cut it. It doesn't cut. It's cutting their hands as they try to, that's really bad. Like a really cool weapon. And then there's that other last one, which I don't think we see that much again. It's the one that they grab the sample off. Like Danny dies getting it. We pried this off his dead hand.
Oh no!
It was like launcher gun.
Yeah.
Dart launcher, like a harpoon gun or something.
The spear gun. The
spear gun. I guess one of the Jamaican guys in the head. But again, a little bit of world building. The German doctor. It's like there's nothing on the periodic table.
Yeah. So she actually played a nun in a movie called Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh yes.
Wow, Ray, you got to see that movie.
Is she the killer in that? Is she?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. She kind of instigates the killings, wouldn't you say, Justin?
Yeah.
but
she's an instrumental.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie.
Punish.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we should kind of wrap up on the Predator 2 talk.
Can I just
we know
say,
as well. Sorry,
just real quick, for a character
sure.
that's in the movie for like 2 minutes, King Willie has put an impression on me for the rest of my life.
Me too. And El Scorpio for me.
El Scorpio, yeah.
There's no stopping what can't be stopped. There's no killing what can't be killed. This is dread, man. Pure dread.
Yeah.
Dread.
We get the title of the anthology from him. Look into the eyes of the demon.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, true. I mean, King Willie. I mean, I'd love to get a little backstory. Young King Willie, young Willie. What does he get up to?
He's got a little Willie.
That kind of started it all.
You want some ganja, man?
How can we forget that guy?
Oh yeah. Who doesn't want to not get into that limo?
Oh, I definitely don't want to get in that limo. I would be miserable the whole.
Even Harrigan was like, "You guys ought to cut back."
Yeah. How does he survive? Yeah, in there. Oh, everyone smoked back in the 90s.
Smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Ray, that wasn't cigarette smoke.
No, of course. No, of course. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, before we wrap it, there's also, the Lost Tribe, which we haven't talked about, the big thing at the end.
Take it.
Adolfini's, Greyback, all this thing that kind of really started. One of the interesting facts I heard from, or I watched when I looked at the behind the scenes, was that all the other Predators of the Lost Tribe. How cool is this? So all the other people that wore the suits, they got to design their own Predator. Like
I love that.
So there's no, I mean, a bit of a illusion breaking here, but there's no real method to it. They just had fun and designing cool helmets and stuff.
I love that.
And from that we see the naked toys. We get the likes of, oh god, I can't remember the names now. Stalker, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, there's Armored, just called Armored Predator.
It was like a shaman,
Shaman. Yeah.
Yeah.
they've all got like now back histories because but imagine like you were the person that kind of created that, like the person who decided, oh, let's like make a shaman predator.
And
Yeah, I love
all
that.
all those predators were the Los Angeles Lakers too.
Oh, really?
Oh, they were.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And there's a
Oh, I
great
didn't know
there's
that.
a great behind the scenes video of them dancing.
Dancing. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
is that on
we
the
have to,
DVD or something?
yeah,
On
but
oh,
Yeah.
I have the Blu-ray and it's not on there, but I've seen
No, it's
the
on
video.
YouTube. Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
You
Yeah.
can see
I
it. You
gotta
can see
look
it
that up.
Also,
easy.
That's fantastic.
just a little trivia fact here is that scene with King Willie, they actually had to stop filming because they found a real cadaver in a dumpster.
Oh,
Because-
Really?
wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
There was a
Whoa.
murdered or homeless person or something in the
Oh my
Jeez.
word.
yeah. So
God. Special effects
Wow.
going, like, you've outdone yourself here.
Yeah.
Look, you've
Yeah,
outdone.
well,
No.
it looks so real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at the head bobble. It's like, no. Put it down. Put it down. Put it
It's
down.
real. It's real. Oh wait. Next. I mean. Oh no.
But yeah, the Lost Tribe was fun, and the big thing, the two things, the Adolfini, the gun with the flintlock, which we see later in Prey, that's lasted, all this time. But of course, the Xenomorph skull, which really opened the door
Trophy
to
wall,
everything. Yeah. And again, a little bit of dispelling. Apparently all the other skulls were really just made up on the spot. Again, they just made there are no references to any Star Wars or any other
I
sci-fi.
like besides the Xenomorph, my favorite is the big troll looking one.
Yeah.
Like, I want to
Yeah.
see
Giant
that.
one.
I want to see that story.
Yeah, me too.
Well, did you see also, if you look carefully, there's actually another predator skull on
Mm,
there. So it's like,
a
who did this
bad
guy?
blood, maybe.
Yeah, bad blood. Yeah,
We
absolutely.
need
And
to see that in a movie.
Yes,
Yes.
we do. I will say that that Xenomorph skull. We mentioned how it was another 15 years or so before we got another Predator movie appearance. That Xenomorph skull basically solidified this franchise making money during that dry spell because that led to a bunch of video games.
Yep.
There were already comics, but there was more comics. There were toys. Like,
Yeah, it was huge after that.
yeah.
I mean, the whole kind of like versus thing really, they're the big titans. I mean, the only other one I can think of that they tried was Freddy versus Jason, right? And I'm assuming,
with-
Godzilla and King Kong, and you got
and
all those as well. Yeah,
Frankenstein meets the Wolfman was the original.
yeah.
So like
yeah.
everything has kind of come from that. But yeah, like
Yeah.
when you think of versus, it's
Yep.
AVP and Freddy versus Jason, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think in modern times, I mean,
Yeah.
for the geek, I reckon it would be AVP.
Don't diss my Wolfman. There you go. Speaking of hunters, I want to see the Predator versus a werewolf. That's what I want to see.
Oh, yes, that would be
I
good. We
love
did
that
discuss
idea.
this last time as to what we wanted to. Yeah. Justin, any other adversaries you'd like to see the Predator take on?
I'd have to think about that. A werewolf would be cool. Some type of vampire would be cool too, maybe.
Perhaps a werewolf by night.
Because the predator wouldn't be able to see a vampire where they don't give off any body heat.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
interesting.
So that would
yeah.
be interesting as
cool.
well, right?
Plus, vampires have all sorts of powers, so it'd be kind of hard for them. But
Yeah,
a werewolf would probably be more of a even fight. But I mean, are those predator blades made of silver? I don't know. So
Yeah.
I look. Yeah, I don't know. Predator's cheat. How about Predator and Godzilla? Do you think that would take up? Or... Bit of a mismatch there.
how would they take the head and the spine?
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
Like,
what a
it'd be
head though.
I want to see
what a head.
in the off chance. Like, can you imagine a predator seeing Godzilla and being like, "Oh, we need that."
Yeah, exactly. Just really,
Like
Yeah.
they get like the whole like colony of them, and they're like sawing his head off. It's like, it's taking forever.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know who else. Yeah, it'd be. Yeah, I mean they're great. I'm just trying to think of any sci-fi ones. I can't think of anything off a Blob. How about Blob?
The Blob, yeah.
The Blob.
Yeah,
that would be
That
hard.
would be cool.
There's
Or
no head. There's
There's
like
no head. What? You just got to take the whole thing. Yeah.
The Thing from John Carpenter's The
that'd be-
Thing, that
that's scary.
creature.
I think a pretty good matchup because they're both so skilled. Predator versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but and to fun fact, it's not a fun fact, but the Enforcer Predator in the Bad Blood comic bears a striking resemblance to the Shredder.
Mm.
Oh, the helmet. Yeah,
yes,
the spikes.
yeah, so-
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we should probably move on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
what
we've got.
would we give our
yeah,
scores for
absolutely.
Predator 2?
This is going in the Hall of Fame for
Yeah,
me.
me too.
I
Me
would
too as
say 5 out of 5 skulls. 5 out
Yeah,
of
me
5
too.
skulls.
Me too.
For-
Actually,
Me too.
yeah. Sorry, Russell.
I was just gonna say I know this is kind of cheating, but like for me, it's like Predator is 1A, Prey is 1B, and Predator 2 is 1C. So like it's like
Yeah.
I love them all. Like
It's
it's
hard
very
to,
good.
yeah.
it's the other ones that I'm like, but
Yeah.
but
Those
those
are easier to rate. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
those three, I love them all equally, but for very different reasons. You know.
Yeah. No,
Definitely.
for sure as well. I rewatched Predators not that long ago, and actually I really did enjoy it. You know, looking past some of its flaws, but yeah, I'd agree with you as well. It's Predator 2 is very strong, and for different reasons, as you say, with Prey and the original one. Just before we move on, sorry guys, I just wanted to read out some comments on Predator 2.
Not as
That's
kind.
feedback.
Not as kind comments.
Oh, okay.
So I put this in the wrong column, but I think it was from the Facebook page. We have Sai Sarat, and they say he's heavily injured. He's talking about the Predator, City Hunter. He still managed to fight him. So yeah, true. He's a fighter. I think all Predators are. But yeah, good point. Thank you.
Especially after he got his arm hacked off.
Yeah, he's still going. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he got shot multiple times with a shotgun in the thing. So still going. He had the kind of respiratory kind of apparatus. From Twitter, we have Hello Anon, and they say, I think it's a bit flabbier than the first, but is overall a lot of fun. It went for excess over subtlety, but it also kept the smart social commentary from the first, being focused on the war on crime instead of just regular armed conflict. Yeah. What did you guys? Yeah. Any?
Yeah, I like
on that?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the whole war on crime thing was a cool twist on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole drug war thing. I think that was a really smart plot device for this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And also Bill from Long Island on Twitter says, I recently rewatched all the Predator movies, and this was by far the worst. It did have some good bits.
Don't agree at all.
Yeah. I mean, horses for courses, I did say to Bill, absolutely. If it's not your cup of tea, it isn't. But hopefully those can find other things that made it good. And finally, on Instagram, Cody Killer 87 says it's a decent movie, but more importantly, it's a good Predator movie, and it expands on the Predator's lore and weapons. So I'm happy it exists. Also, the main Danny Glover's character was good, and the setting was cool. Overall, it's probably my third or fourth favorite Predator movie, definitely after Predator and Prey. Close to Predators. Definitely very 90s though. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, very 90s.
Well,
Very
very-
extreme.
Very extreme 90s. I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't have pouches, around the
Oh, I
ankles.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And pointy feet.
Pointy feet as well. No, but thank you everyone for those, for writing in, giving us your thoughts on Predator 2. Guys, we've got fresh wounds.
Yeah.
We got some very fresh wounds.
Yes. So we're going to talk about The Eyes of the Demon, chapters 7 through 9. I'll be honest, I remember 2 of these 3. I don't remember one of them at all. You'll have to jog my memory on it. But this first one here, which was one of my favorites, Bitter Hunt by Kim May. So basically the story in this one, fellas, is that we have this female hunter named Achille, and she is she's hunting down these 3 like renegade. Would you say these are bad bloods? I don't know, but these 3 renegade predators, but she's having some conflicting feelings, which is not something we've really seen with a predator a whole lot. And I mean, this leads to, long story short, she's hunting her own son. And I love this. I did predict the ending. I figured that this was going to be her kid. But man, it really tackles the predators thought, and how they judge situations. She's obviously she's ripped to shreds on the inside. This is her baby, but she is bound by this code. To her son was already dead, so she's got to kill him. We get 2 other predators in this. Well, first, her son's name is Dakwade. She has one of the predator hounds with her named Zave.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how they said it in the audiobook, but Zave, who I'm wondering is it more like the predator hounds in Predators or the weird predator dog in the Predator.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
One of them goes unnamed, and the other one name is Chwakizi.
Yeah.
And well, Justin, what did you think of this?
I really liked this one. I thought this was powerful, and I guessed the twist too, that it was her kid. I really liked the hound Sabe. I liked the whole symbiosis that she had with him. Like that I have a weakness for that. Like in Prey with Naru and what's the dog's name? Sorry. I love that. I love that character combination of somebody with an animal companion. I'm a big sucker for that. So I loved that focus or it wasn't really a focus, but I love that detail in this story. And it had a really good ending. It was powerful. It was resonant. It stayed with you after you read it. It was really good.
I think the hound was a good touch in the fact that, especially towards the end, where you see Zave meeting Achille and Ductwade, and it knows no better. It recognizes Ductwade and it's wagging its tail.
Right. Yeah. That makes it even. That's a gut punch right there. And that's basically the confirmation is like, okay, this is like
But then, I mean, can you imagine, again, from Zave's point of view, Achille then nets it up against the wall, and it doesn't understand what's happening. And I guess in that sense, it kind of in a weird way, is kind of like, the viewer's eyes, because this is a mum who is conflicted, and this is a mum
Mhm.
who should be loving her spawn or her son, but
Mhm.
she has this duty. So we kind of get that emotional edge from Zave. Yeah, I loved it as well. I think the details that Kim May puts in the writing, from the fact that you see Zave dragging the head of all the kills that she does,
Yeah.
to Achilles, just badassery and managing to hunt down these three renegades was really cool. And then the use of the weapons, the smart weapons,
Mm.
the disc, the
The disc.
flechettes.
Oh
All,
yeah.
all that.
Some great fights, especially with that smart disc coming into
Yeah.
play.
Like there's this one bit where Duck Twide apparently has an older model smart disk, so you can't program it in properly. You have to program it every time it returns to you. So she uses that to her advantage, and she aims just off, like, to try and preempt him moving back, for her to kind of strike and kill. So very well thought out, I think, story from May in the details of the action. A simple story, and I think the three of us pretty much we guessed that there was the
Mhm.
sun or some
Mhm.
sort of spawn.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
really,
I think this story brings up a nice like confliction, because we're rooting for Achille, and she's torn, she's heartbroken, she has to kill her son, but we also, like, even though that's honorable, this kind of shows the evils of the predators,
Mhm.
like, beliefs,
yeah,
like the fact that, like, no one can be forgiven, and there's, like, basically essentially no trial system in the predator clan. You're, like, guilty until proven guilty. uh um
yeah,
Guilty or innocent. but
Innocent.
yeah, like, this, it's kind of showing that, like, they're both wrong,
yeah.
but
Oh no, yeah,
but
absolutely.
we're taking the more, I guess, the lesser of two evils with Achille.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
it was revealed what they did. I
Yeah,
mean,
and what they did
committed
was awful. Yeah,
yeah,
but
they
it was
committed some
still.
atrocity. So
Yeah, I mean, I found that was good as well. It was still vague enough. I mean,
yeah,
we know what they did. It was murdering unarmed females and young, but
Mhm.
I think it was good that May just left it at that, and you kind of
Mm.
fill in the blanks as to what sort of
Yeah.
atrocities that was, and what's
Yeah.
the context of it. So you don't really need to know. You just need to know
Right.
that they did something bad.
and yet the predator in that Space Phantom story killed an entire unarmed village, and it was just okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna give this one 4.5 skulls.
mm.
Like, it's not a fair criticism, but my only criticism is I wish this was longer.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's going in the Hall of Fame for me, or the trophy wall, I should
Trophy
say.
wall.
Trophy
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you,
Yeah.
Justin?
Well, I think probably the same as Russell, 4.5 out of 5. It wasn't quite perfect, but it was pretty damn close.
Yeah, I'd agree as well. I mean, not just to be the same, but it was a very strong. I mean, Justin and I, we chatted offline before. These three chapters, I think, are very strong. These three were three of my most enjoyable
Mhm.
chapters reading this anthology. So yeah, 4.5. It was something different. We had a female Yautja, and it was a 100% all Yautja story, which was great.
Yeah.
I mean, no pesky humans to spoil
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All right, so the next one is Field Trip by Robert Greenberger. I noticed there's
Mm.
no notes here, and this is the one I do not remember.
Oh, you don't remember? Yeah, I
Oh,
intentionally left this to last, and I didn't get around to doing some notes. But
So just jog my memory here.
this was again, some predators make their way onto Earth, but they run into some larpers.
Yes, okay. This is
yeah.
this one. Okay, I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
needed that. That's all
The
I need.
pregnant alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, a pregnant alien. Yes, that was
This
so cool. Yeah.
this is okay. This is another beautiful story. Like this was this almost got me. Like I thought, I mean, it's funny to say this about a Predator story, but it was very strong, like strong stuff here. Um so yes, like Ray mentioned, there are some LARPers, but they're not like fantasy LARPers. They're more like reenactors.
Yeah, this is in
Uh,
England.
yeah,
In England, and they're like recreating some battle between like the Saxons and the Vikings or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they do this every year. And our main character is this woman who like she's found a really good man. She's a very she's a strong Christian believer.
Mhm.
Um,
And she's pregnant.
she
She's
her
pregnant as well.
husband's getting yeah, and she's pregnant. Her husband's getting a little fatter every year, and she and he's constantly worrying about taking care of the family. Blah blah blah. Meanwhile, we have a female predator who is also pregnant, and she is leading a bunch of not even young bloods. They're like no bloods right now. They haven't
Yeah.
killed anybody yet.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to just survey. Like their thing is that they're just going to survey. They're not going to attack anything. They're not going to hunt. It's just to survey. But this establishes that like an unblood or like what's a predator that hasn't made their first kill yet, they're almost unstoppable. Like not in terms of like unkillable, but like their urge to kill is like unmatched. So of course the irresistible force meets the immovable object,
Yeah.
and some of these brats start going after the LARPers.
And it's a really uneven kind
Yeah.
of fight at first. You're thinking, oh my gosh, this is like a pure massacre. But there's sheer numbers, right, to the LARPers, which
Yeah.
seems to kind of
They start to get the upper hand, but the problem is our main female predator goes into labor.
yeah.
And oh man, the tension in this kind of reminded me of like a Twilight Zone episode. Like because you've got people arguing, and our main character, I'm sorry, I don't remember any of the names, but she basically she goes into her belief system, and she decides that all creatures are God's creatures, even this predator. So she puts, I feel like this is a great commentary on xenophobia. Like this I mean, just because something is from somewhere different, and even if they might be dangerous, does not mean that they are like undeserving of, you know, help.
Compassion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give I don't want to give the whole story away, even though we basically gave the story away on the last one. But there's a real beautiful like labor scene. And is this the first time we've seen a baby predator? I mean, like,
and it looked exactly like the City Hunter.
I just imagine it coming out, and his mama's like cradling me, saying, "Motherfucker,
want some candy?
want some candy?"
I think this story was great. There was so much tension because it kind of similar to Frances McDormand for me in Fargo, like how she's the pregnant sheriff. Any like pregnant woman or any pregnant person or thing, there's that level of fragility, and you just, oh god, you don't want anything bad to happen to them. So by having Robert Greenberger write both pregnant like predator and humans, and this amidst like a battle scene with LARPers, and just because you get in detail how they're just kind of massacred. And at first you think these are like normal people. They're not like soldiers. They're not like Billy or Mac or Dylan.
Right.
They're not like Harrigan. These are just people.
Play soldiers. Like
Play
literally-
soldiers.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. I think there was one. Isn't there one like they're trying to do something with a fake sword, and there was just, it was having no effect at all. So it was absolutely terrifying. And so you've got this carnage surrounding these two fragile like beings, and I just think it was for creating that tension and the story of having the surveyors and her looking after these unruly like youngins was really, I think, really enjoyable.
And I love her argument because the men want to kill the pregnant predator, and all the women kind of it was a great woman like empowering moment too, because like they stand in between this predator going into labor, and they're like, you better back off. But she basically says, okay, so what's your plan here? You're going to kill this unarmed pregnant alien and not realizing that there's more out there and they're gonna come. Like, wouldn't you rather be remembered as the humans that showed compassion and helped this predator, or do you want to be remembered as the murderer of an unborn baby and its mother? It's like, it's
really good. It's really good. I mean, I'd give this a 4.5 as well. Again, I think it's pretty consistent. I've loved, again, I love these two stories. Just something different. And for me, this was one of the more memorable stories. I mean, they've all been great in the anthology, but this one really stuck out because it went for a big swing. Predators attacking a medieval LARPer fest. It's pretty different. But how about yourself, Justin?
I didn't like this one quite as much. I had to suspend my disbelief at the concept of a heavily pregnant alien going on a hunt with a bunch of untested
newbies.
I felt like, well, if she's that close to giving birth, like wouldn't she know that would compromise her hunt? And wouldn't she decide to wait until after the baby was born to do this?
Well, it's that old trope, isn't it? It's like, well, I'll take care of it after this last mission. And it's like,
yeah, right, yeah. So there was a little bit of that. I was like, would she really have done this if she was that pregnant? But I really liked the whole what we were talking about, the whole xenophobia undercurrent that ran in this, and the whole parallel with the two pregnant characters. I really liked the descriptions of everything that was going on was cool. One other thing I didn't like too was when the male predators started killing everyone. I would have liked to have seen like one of those three being like, maybe we shouldn't do this, like this isn't really what we're supposed to be doing, and maybe that one is like the first one that's killed by the humans,
right?
And then the rest of them go nuts. I don't know. There are a couple things I didn't really like, so I'd give this one a 3 out of 5.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to give kind of in the middle here. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I really thought this one was good. I thought it kind of dragged a little bit, like it took a while to get to where we were going, it felt like. And I'm not exactly a fan of like the main hero being like the white Christian savior kind of thing, but at the same time I think it did a beautiful job about addressing xenophobia, and it was
very well written.
It was a beautiful scene. I didn't quite like it as well as some of the others in here, but it was still very strong. So 4 out of 5. Nice. So I guess that puts it on the trophy wall, does it not? I think that was our rule: was 4 and above go on the trophy wall.
Yeah.
We've got a stacked wall so far.
I love
it.
We got one more story here. This one is Cannon Fodder by Jenny Coach. I don't know. I'm sorry if I butchered. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Jenny.
Just say cock. Come on.
No. Maybe it is cock. I don't know.
It is. Yeah.
It's not spelled like cock. What the fuck are we doing? But so this one, okay, we get a lot of like previous continuity callbacks in this story. This is also another one that I feel was very much inspired by Aliens and not
Yes,
a Predator.
absolutely.
So basically, it's the year 2422, so
Long way.
400 years from now,
Jeez.
and they're in the Subversal system, planet Fourth Salturna Exodus. And our main predators in this one are Zalande. She is the leader. And then we have Lavindi, Heketi, and Sulamina. And they're part of the clan Hippata.
I love these names.
And basically they're a group of outcasts. And if they don't succeed, they haven't successfully had a hunt yet. If they don't successfully kill something on this hunt, then they're done.
They're done.
Lavindi's hunt name is Failure, and Hekati's hunt name is Coward, and Sulamina's hunt name is Suckling.
Yep. So they're not they're not the highest regarded Yautja. Yeah.
So then we have the humans. We have Kali, which is Alana Gonzalez. Scary, which is Sherry Cantrell. Tank, which is Aaron O'Brien. YOLO, which is Yolanda Lopez. Red Sarge William Compton. Bling Bling, Tiffany Lee. Dash, which is Jasmine Viviers. Bookmarks, which is Amelia Burns. And they're all part of the L Squad. And basically, they are a group of losers as well. Like, now here's where the connections come in. Kali is a descendant of Anna from Predator, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
so cool.
And then Scary is a descendant of Jerry and Leona from Predator 2. I did not realize, one, that it was implied that baby in Predator 2 was Jerry's.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
I also didn't realize that he had the same name as the member of Alice in Chains, Jerry Cantrell. And then we have the evil Captain Joel Haber. So I'm going to let you all take this one because I feel like I've talked a lot. So Justin, you want to start with this one?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I liked how you had the two perspectives switching back and forth between the Yautja, the three exiles, and the female soldiers that they were hunting. I really liked that. And the jungle was cool. It was very well described, the whole planet that they were on. I did kind of get a chuckle when there was one civilian that just kind of poked his head out and he was like, "Oh, I've been watching these guys for a while and this is how they do things." And then it was maybe a couple of sentences that he said something. And then all of a sudden the Combi stick gets shoved through his face. I think his name was Ira or something. They introduced Ira Sykes for all of maybe 2 seconds and then he was dead.
Yeah.
That probably gave me a chuckle. I really liked it. I liked how you weren't really sure how this was going to end. Like I really didn't have a clue. It kept me guessing until the end about what was going to happen. Are the Predators going to win this one? Are the humans going to win this one? Are they both going to come out of this with some scars? Yeah, it was very good. What did you think, Ray?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a slower build for me than the other ones. But as you mentioned, Russell, there's a cast of thousands here, and to do it justice, you've kind of at least got to give them some sort of screen time. So, although we don't see too much of the likes, my favorite, because you always have favorites, right? My favorite was was Dash because she's really
Mhm.
fast, you know. But you get the likes of Dash, and I think Bling Bling just offed pretty quickly. But at least you get some semblance of what they kind of like, you know. So Bling Bling was like a jewel thief or something. She liked,
Mhm.
you know, the shiny trinkets. Similar to you, Justin, I love the parallel between essentially the two. They're both loser squads, L squads, aren't they? The Predators and these the ragtag team. It was so. Apology, yeah, Captain Joel Haber. I think he started out bad. He gets off pretty early on with
Oh,
one
okay.
one or the other. Yeah, I think I didn't put the name down. I'm going to go for a reach here. I think it's Fulcher or something. He was in.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
dressed in a black like secret ops suit, and he seemed to have
Mhm.
this really kind of unnerving demeanor. He'd like, you know, smile at them as if he's smiling to say, "I can't wait till you die," that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
He was a really creepy. I thought he was an android at
I did
first,
too.
but he turned out to be the main kind of big bad as well.
Yeah.
The thing at the end, towards the end, the big reveal. Essentially, what we get here is this place, Planet Fourth's Alterna Exodus, has been made. And there's been almost like a bargain between the Yautjas and the humans to use it as a practice ground or like almost like an amusement park, maybe even
Yeah,
where
like
they
a
get to come
hunter's oasis. Yeah.
Hunter's Oasis. So yeah, so you know, this is discovered along the way, but you know, in typical, as you say again, Russell, Aliens fashion, we get this crack squad, and they all kind of meet their deaths. I love I love the storytelling in the fact that we get you know, POVs of different of the same moments, but from
Yeah.
both different
Mhm.
perspectives. I thought that was really cool. So most notably at the beginning, you see Tank Erin, she gets shot at. But then you see you read about the reverse and about how the hunters, the predators, find the big one, and the big one seems to be the most dangerous, and they kind of kill her. Yeah, it was, I can't for the life of me remember Justin the ending. What would so
Oh well,
did they?
they kill Flucher because they realize
Yep,
he's not. Well, once the secret comes out about the whole planet
yep.
being a hunting ground, then they're kind of like, "Well, fuck this! Like, you're dead."
Yeah, and he has that suit that shields them,
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
right.
which and
It's a coolant suit. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
basically they come down to, you know, the last predator and the last human, and they team up, and basically the predator's like, "Hey, you want to come with me?" I mean,
Oh, that's right.
they can't
Yes.
talk to each other, but they kind of have like this
Hmm.
bond now.
Hmm.
So
And
Yeah.
I love
Was
that.
was
I hope that we see another story with those two in the future.
was it just Carly at the end? Was it?
mhm.
Okay. Oh, scary died. Okay. Yeah. Um.
Yeah, that bloodline's dead unless she's got some brothers and
Well,
sisters.
yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Really good. Look, I thought maybe because I appreciate what they were trying to do. It's a bigger kind of canvas, but I'd give this down a little bit of a notch. I'd say 4 out of 5 for this. I still enjoyed it, just a slower pace, but once it got
Mm.
going, it was really cool. Like once you get them picked off one by one, and once you get the predators like killed as well,
Mm. Mhm.
that was pretty cool. So
That was
yeah, it was action packed. How about you, Russell?
I'm gonna give this 3 out of 5.
Mhm.
I thought it was really cool bringing in the like the references to characters in Predator 1 and 2. I felt like it really got going pretty slow. And again, it was almost too much aliens for me.
Mm.
I don't want too much aliens in my Predator. Uh,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
but I thought, you know, our villain being like he's much like Ash or Burke
Mhm.
from Aliens. He's kind of the shitbag who's trying to
Mm.
just get everyone killed, and he's got that. I thought that was a great reveal. That's like, why hasn't he been in danger this whole time? It's because they can't see him.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the fact that this is going to lead into an awesome buddy cop thing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 skulls.
Mhm. I would give this one 4.5 out of 5. I really
Wow.
enjoyed
Okay,
this
cool.
one. I really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like was I felt like we could have seen a little bit more backstory of some of the women in the group, just to make us care a little bit more about them. That's all. But yeah, I really like the concept. I thought the two groups of losers was a really, really cool idea for the story. And like I said, I'd love to see where these two go after this story. Maybe in a
Yeah.
future anthology. Maybe we'll see another one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the beauty of these anthologies and this fiction is that sky's the limit. Really, you can. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure, like 20th Century or whoever owns it, or Disney, would be happy to kind of expand the universe and all that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great to have these recurring characters because we know that one of the what was it one of the earlier stories that we did, he was a recurring character as well.
Oh yes,
The Fix.
Fix.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Fix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the
So it'd be
Games
good
World, yeah.
to good to get Carly back. For
Yeah.
that.
That'd be cool.
Well,
Roddy.
the main event.
Yes.
Marvel's Predator #3, release date October 2022. Cover date, I don't know. That's the Day of the Hunter Part 3. We have writer Ed Brisson, penciler Kev Walker, inker Kev Walker, colorist Frank D'Armata, letterer Clayton Cowles, and editors Kat Gregorowitz, Shannon Andrews Ballesteros, Jake Thomas, and
Hey.
Darren Shan.
Nice.
Yeah, so Ray, you want to show off the covers for our
Oh, yes, sorry, I've only got this one.
okay, that's
but-
cool.
Yeah, but I mean,
Love
it
that
is a
cover.
really nice cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
showing Theta donning the suit, ready for battle. I mean, it really doesn't give that much away,
Right, yeah.
by way of it.
So
But yeah,
but gentlemen, so we all kind of placed our bets at the end of the last issue, and we were all wrong.
Yes, yeah.
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 So we find out that is just a regular Predator coming up.
I was
behind Theta.
I was scrutinizing the figure. I was like, is it a female in any way?
Yeah,
I couldn't tell. Yeah, you can't tell.
It's holding Theta's axe, and oh man, this whole opening is so cool.
It's amazing.
And they engage in mortal combat, and like this is Theta's basically walking to a trap because she doesn't have her armor, she doesn't have her weapons. She's basically defenseless against this Predator, and it strikes. And we get a nice battle here, and Theta has to basically run for it. Even to the point where she dislodges her prosthetic foot as like a way to kind of like get away.
Yeah.
And she gets in the. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh no. I was just about to say. I think the opening, the art is. I really do love the art. I did think
too.
Theta does look a little strange in some panels, but
I think because she's so cold. But she finally gets aboard her ship, and she's like, come on, start. You know, that old chestnut.
Come on, you hunk of shit.
And that Predator's just kind of like, I'm coming, and
it's a pretty cool Predator helmet as well.
Oh
if you look
yeah,
at
definitely. I love
it's
the
got the
design.
spikes as well.
NECA, we need this figure.
We do.
Yes.
But she turns the ship on, and the exhaust just blasts this Predator away, pretty much.
Yeah.
If there's any question whether it survived or not, you just have to look at the next few panels.
Yeah.
It's
Just see the axe.
He's like,
Anybody have any Desitin?
exactly.
bring
But
out
beautiful.
Your
I mean, for largely silent like panels, like we get a whole heap of just action of just this fleeing from the station, but really nice. I like to call out like the colors as well as Kev Walker's arts, just very subtle. Like you get the purple and the blue hues and the green.
So, do you reckon the because if you'll scroll back up a little bit,
Yep.
Ray, so the exhaust coming out of the ship is blue, like in Star Wars, but if
Mm.
you notice, like it hit like the Predator's blood is like burning, it's like steaming
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's like green vapors coming
Green
off
vape,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
evaporating. Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of awesome the
It is
attention to
cool.
detail on that.
that's great. Um, but yeah, I mean, so Theta gets to work fixing her leg or foot. Sorry, that gets cut off, and we get Sandy's back online, of course, uh, and yeah. So this she basically stockpiles it herself. This is great. I mean, for anyone that's like played video games and watched apocalypse movies and stuff, restocking on supplies is a very big thing. So
Yeah.
we get introduced. I mean, you see some of it here with Astar Industries. She goes for the what's it called, old timey whiskey, it seems. But she spends a lot of time. Like she's got like 7 hours or so. And she takes her time with this because she needs it, and she gets enough food and provisions for like the next year. So she's set. This is a big win for her, and of course, having some booze is
Yeah, and
doesn't hurt.
I love that, like, she kind of second guesses, like, should I really be taking these supplies? And she's like, well,
Mm.
I'm trying to survive.
Well, yeah, you justify it, don't you? I mean, like
Yeah.
you're gonna be hunting for, can you imagine how hungry you'd be? Like, you're just searching for food, whatever you can get. So yeah, definitely justifies it in her mind. We get an interesting thing here though. Did you guys take it for anything more than, I mean, we get someone watching Theta.
Mm.
Mm.
I took this is someone outside of what we see later on, like towards the end. Have I misread, or is this probably just them?
It kind of looks like a Predator thing,
It kind of
but
does, but it could be somebody else too.
at the same time, we're in this futuristic world, so who's to
Mm,
say that's not a different bit of alien technology?
Right, and we know
yeah,
there were a couple of other aliens that Theta encountered last time, where she got the hover
that's
bike
true.
from.
Yeah,
So it could be there's some other
I kind of
outcast.
figured it's like those guys that she helped before, those that tried to rob her and she let them live. I figured they're going to come to her rescue. But
Oh,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
maybe not.
hmm.
Y-
But
So sorry, I forgot to mention as well. So Astar Industries. So one of the pinch points we know is that the predators know the make of a ship, so they're going to different Astar Industry stations to destroy them.
Yeah,
That's
that was
why
the big
she
reveal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why she has like 7 hours or so to get away, because they've locked onto her signal or something, or they've locked onto this signal, this station, and they're on their way.
yep.
Um, yep.
So
And
yeah,
so she feels some guilt about that too, because she feels like, well, how many other Ashtar Industries
That
outposts have been attacked, and how many other people have been killed by these
exactly.
predators who are only out there looking for me? And so she takes
Mm,
that on. She takes on this massive guilt about that, and she tries to take off. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point. Actually, it's a good thing that Brisson brings up. I mean, it kind of makes you think. It's not just a mere fact of they're just going to be after her. He thinks about the implications of what's
Mhm.
happening, and it's like they're cutting a path to get to her, and there are a lot of innocents kind of
Mhm.
lost in it. So
Yeah.
that's a good point. Is Russell? Sorry, were you going to say something?
I just was gonna. I was really just continuing the story.
Yep.
So she's running out of time. She's running against the clock. She's got to get all these supplies, all this. She does make extra time to give proper burials to the
Mm.
victims of the predator. But that's when the predators show up. Several ships of them.
Yeah.
And already taking fire, already shooting.
Yeah, I mean, it's again a nice little touch for Theta to show her human side, just wanting to
Mhm.
you know, she still cares about. They're people that she doesn't even know, but she feels responsible, as you say, Justin, for their deaths because she's brought death or hell to the doorstep. Um, and that's when we see that mysterious kind of figure, a hunter, looking at them, looking at her. I'm starting to think it isn't the predators that we saw in that with the yellow, the red scope. Just because
Yeah,
that
I feel
seems
like it's
like that.
somebody else. Yeah.
That to me looks like. Oh, it could be. I don't know. To me, that looks like they're on the planet already, like looking
Hmm.
at them. But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So she's trying to fix the ship, and she tries to bury the dead, but they're there. So I mean, what did you guys make of the ending for this?
Dun dun dun.
Great
Uh,
cliffhanger.
yeah, it's the mark of a good comic is wanting you to get to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we did get some Predator action at the beginning. It would have been cool to see a bit more, but I'm still loving this. I'm still loving to see where it goes. And you know, we've got some ships here of predators, so there's more than enough predators to go around now.
Yeah. Next one's going to be big, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do have some feedback here. I'll read out now. So on Predator 3, again from Facebook. So a lot of people have differing opinions of the series as well. Sean Wallace writes in and says the best issue so far in a very weak series of 6. It needs to get way better, otherwise Dark Horse will remain the king in putting out Predator comics. My biggest gripe with this issue was her losing a leg and still beating him. Yeah. Uh,
Well,
yeah, look, I think Dark Horse has its place as well. They are
Mhm.
great comics, but they are comics. Yeah, I
right.
mean, yeah,
I want to comment on that.
yep.
Like everyone entitled to their opinion, and thank you so much for giving your comment. But I just want to say first off, like it's not like she lost her leg like
Mm.
freshly. She had a
Mm,
prosthetic foot, so
Yeah.
she was able to keep going.
Yeah.
Two, um, Dark Horse had 30 plus years of comics.
that's
I
true.
don't think we can judge this after 3 issues and say that well, obviously there's not as much meat as Dark Horse. They had quite a head start.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah,
um,
yeah. No, agreed.
I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, exactly, and a lot of the really good, I think, a lot of the good Predator comics in Darkest were around the 90s. But again, that's a different sort of writing back then too. Like, so you're taking like modern day writing with writing that's, you know, essentially 25, 30 years ago. It all
Mm,
depends on kind of your taste as well. But no,
definitely.
thank you, Sean. There. Has anyone else got the prompt sheet? Does anyone want to read one out or?
Yeah, just a
I've
second.
I've got it.
The next one is from Hello Anon
Oh, no, the one above
on
Knox
Twitter.
Nile.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. Oh, I guess I didn't see that one.
Yeah, Knox Nihil.
Hmm.
This has been my favorite issue so far in the series. I'm digging how they're showing the Yautja's hunting habits from the saved information in the database. Excited for the next issue.
Yeah,
Oh, there it is. I just saw it.
cool.
And then Sai Sarat says, Super Lady Yautjas. I love that.
Thank you, Sai, as well. Yeah, yeah, that's great. Hunting habits from the saved information in the database. Yeah, there's a lot of little details here. I think that Brisson puts in. It's really good. And finally on Twitter, Sparky Mikey,
Oh,
Sparky, we've
Sparky.
got to grab Sparky on for the show, for sure.
I'm begging her. Begging her.
Sparky says, great action with awesome artwork. The only thing I really didn't like was that it ended and now I have to wait for the next issue. Yep, totally with you.
Mm,
This is the problem with serial, like monthly serials. You got to wait, which is
yeah.
really annoying. But glad to hear that you're enjoying it, Sparky. I mean, I know you are. Because, yeah, it's been a great lot of fun so far. So, yeah, should we rate this ourselves or have we done
Yeah,
that? No, we haven't.
I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5 skulls. Like, this was a lot better than our previous issue. The last issue was mostly just setup, and I think I said in the previous show that this will read a lot better as a trade
Yes,
than as
I
a
think so,
monthly.
too.
I agree. Totally
But
agree.
yeah, I really enjoyed that great Predator action, burning that motherfucker to a crisp. And like I said, the attention to detail in Kev Walker's, inks and pencils and like the vapors coming off of the Predator's blood.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where this goes from here.
Cool. How about yourself, Justin?
I have to agree with Russell. I would give this one a 4 out of 5 skulls as well. I wanted the action scene to be a little bit longer, but that's minor gripes. And yeah, I love the attention to detail in the art. Like when after the Predator was killed, you could see like it's the shadow of it lying on the ground and its mandibles. You can see its mandibles sticking out. Just like little attention, little touches like that are so good.
Yeah.
And these comics are full of those, and it makes me so happy. And Theta's a great character. I love how we see more of her character coming out in each issue. More things are revealed about her that make me like her even more.
Yeah, I mean, she's not. Oh, there's Noel. Hey, Noel.
No.
Half awake watching. Hey,
Papa
Noel,
T.
how you going? Hey, hope it's all treating you well, Noel. Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I thought. Sorry, Noel just threw me there. So I've forgotten what I was about to say. But yeah, look, I'd give it a 4 as well. I kind of really enjoyed it. It really, I think, really will be a great read if it's in trade. But yeah, so far, I mean, the pacing, it's kind of slow. It's teasing out. We're getting little bits here and there. No worries, Noel. We're kind of teasing what's coming up, and we're kind of waiting and waiting. I guess with the trade, when you kind of read consecutive issues, it'll kind of flow a little bit better. But yeah, the artwork I can't fault. I really do like. Yes, just more Predators, but I guess we're going to get that with the Predator ship. So can't complain there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's 4 all round. That's another trophy wall thing, isn't it?
Definitely. Another one to add to the trophy wall. That wall's getting cluttered.
Exactly.
We're going to need a bigger wall.
Exactly. Well, before we go, guys, we just got one order of business. It is our trophy room.
Well, since Ray, you have the big trophy room today.
Oh yes, I'm excited.
Usually I just show something off from my already acquired collection here, and this one kind of ties into one of yours.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
And very topical for our issue today. Here is the Ultimate City Hunter.
Oh yes,
I love it.
Nice
with the blue, right? The blue, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kinda.
Nice. Yeah, great.
That's fantastic.
I'm sorry, my camera's not.
I do love the helmet.
There you
go.
Yeah.
The kind of bronze brownie helmet.
Yeah.
Great figure. Absolutely great figure.
Oh, the City Hunters you gotta have, I think, in your collection.
Don't you, Ray? You got to have the City Hunter in the collection.
So, the first one I got is, yes, the Battle Damage.
It is.
Yeah,
Battle Damage City Hunter. So I've actually, it's
that's one I don't have.
That one.
That's so
great.
Cool.
So it comes with a detachable arm. You can
got the battle damage.
Yeah. The only thing I did see that is maybe slightly disappointing, but I think I told you, Russell, as well. It comes with 3 head things. You got the the apparatus, like the respiratory kind of system thing. I can't even say it. Then you got the normal face of the Yautja, and then you got the helmet. But I don't think the helmet sits on properly. I haven't tried it. It could.
You know what I thought about that after we talked about it? Because I thought, well, that's kind of odd. Maybe it's a QR or a QC issue, or maybe just that guy that told you about that had that problem. But really, the helmet, he didn't wear the helmet after he was battle damaged. So
That's true. That's true.
So maybe it's just there as like a prop.
Yeah. I think. It's in the promo photos. It's never shown on his face, so I think it's maybe kind of like discarded, which kind of makes sense. So you've put in a good point.
Justin has been whisked away by the rapture. He's gone.
Oh my gosh, Justin! Either that, or he's become really small,
or he's cloaked right now. You can't.
Oh
see
yeah.
him.
You could just hear him laughing.
Want some candy?
Want some candy? Now this other second one I really love. This is the Golden Angel. The Golden Angel. And for those that don't know, so this is one of the first comic book NECA versions. But the Golden Angel is greyback. It's a young greyback. So I've got to read the story on. Great.
It's a really short story.
Oh yeah, this is a 1718. This is the Adolfini, the flintlock, right? Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
But yeah,
like
gold.
This
Look at that texture.
So cool.
He was in a Dark Horse Presents, so it was like an anthology. So it was a short story. But yeah, that was the original explanation of where the flintlock came from. That has now been retconned, obviously.
Yeah.
And that story is in the omnibus too, as well, right?
I think it is.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Dark Horse Presents stuff in there. So
yeah.
So this one comes with a little flintlock as well. So that's a nice.
Oh, I love it.
Cool
yeah, it's a great figure, and such like those comic Predators are so unique. Like that one's bright yellow. It's like
it's got a cool helmet as well. Like again, similar to the one that we saw in Ed Brisson's. It's got like the spikes on the top. Yeah, really, really cool. So, so that was a little show and tell. Justin, how about yourself?
Well, I don't have a Predator-related figure, but Russell sent me a lovely figure in the mail as a gift, and it is Captain Blake from The Fog, my favorite horror movie. He's an undead pirate.
It looks scary.
And this is a NECA figure as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it does look like really good quality.
That's the line of figures that they call Toonie Terrors, which is basically they take these horror movie characters and they make them look essentially like they were in a Scooby-Doo episode.
Fantastic. A great little surprise. Thank you again, Russell.
You're so welcome.
Awesome.
Does that wrap us up, fellas?
I think so. It's been another fun one.
Yeah.
And next month we'll be talking about the next issue of the Predator series by Ed Brisson and Kev Walker, the next 3 chapters of Eyes of the Demon, and we're going to be talking about another movie, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
2010's Predators.
Yes. Which I'm excited about because I've only seen that one a couple of times, and it's been a while since the last time I watched it, but I remember enjoying a lot of it.
Yeah, Royce is cool. I like Royce. Adrian Brody.
I like a lot of it, and there's some stuff I don't like, so I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. Yeah,
because so far all the movies I've had nothing but shining, gold lights on. So it'll be nice to have a critique.
Yeah,
there are some flaws in this one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, yep.
You wanna?
Wow, just about to say until then.
Yeah.
Shit happens. Shit happens.
Thank you. Catch ya.
See you, everyone.
See ya.